All right, so we're going to start applying some of the things we learned, and we're going to start by talking about acids and bases. So, review from general chemistry. What we're talking about here is Bronsted-Lowry acid bases. And so, in this case, a Bronsted acid is an H plus donor, and a base is an H plus acceptor. And we know H plus is just a different way of saying a proton. So sometimes you'll see H plus, sometimes you'll see proton transfer, right? Proton acceptor, proton donor. And so here's an example of the reaction. So HF plus H2O goes to F minus plus H3O plus, right? And so what we want to do is we want to trace the H plus, right? So if you look over here, there's an H and a plus, right? Where did that come from? Well, if you write over here, there's an F minus here where there was an H, and so that H plus must have come from here, right? And so if we're reading from left to right, HF gave up a proton, and so this is the acid. And then H2O accepted that proton, and so it is the base. But as you can see, this is an equilibrium arrow, and so we can think about things going from right to left. And so if we think about things from going right to left, it's basically reversed. And what we call these are conjugate acids and bases, right? So going left to right, HF is an acid, but going right to left, F minus is a base. So we call this the conjugate base. And then H3O plus will be the conjugate acid, right? Conjugate acid base pairs. Take a proton, remove a proton. Another popular example is ammonia, NH3 plus H2O to NH4 plus OH minus, right? And so we see this H plus over here on the right side. Where did that come from? Well, it had to come from this water. And so in this case, this NH3 is a base, and that's something you learned in Gen Chem. Ammonia is generally a base. Water here is the acid, right? Water is amphiprotic. It can act as an acid or a base. And then this will be the conjugate acid, and then the hydroxide will be the conjugate base, right? So think back to Gen Chem a little bit. It's not too bad.